What's up, guys? My name is Justin.
And my name's Jordan.
And welcome to another video game podcast.
A podcast where different gamers talk about different games.
Yeah. And this week... Yeah, that's right. And this week, we're talking about a game that both Jordan and I play heavily. You know what I mean? God. Like, we probably play this about 4 times a week together for a few hours at a time.
Yeah.
We're talking about... What are we talking about, Jordan?
Dude, we're talking about the one and only SAW. You even saw it, bruh?
Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves.
It's called SAW.
You sawtin'? SAW doesn't roll off the tongue like COD does.
I know, right? Yeah. But yes, we're talking about Sea of Thieves. It is an incredible game if you have not played it. Highly enjoyable. It's fun to play solo. It's way more fun to play with a crew, though.
It's more hard people to play you have. Solo. Don't jump into it by yourself if it's your first time playing.
I mean, I did. That's how I learned the game, is I had to play solo.
Yeah,
but
look how like aggressive and predatory you are. You don't
I
want
know.
our viewers to turn out like you.
I know. I do play the game a little too aggressively. Just a little bit. I'm working on it, all right? I've tried to tone it down since playing with you. I just feel like there's more of an opportunity to play a little more that way, like a little more friendly when you know you have a crew, right? Or when you're playing by yourself, like your only advantage, I feel like, is to make the first move. Like, that's your only advantage when you're playing by yourself.
I just want to prove how wrong you are by saying that earlier today I was playing by myself. There were 2 other crews on there, and I managed to diplomat my way into getting both of them under one alliance. So everyone on the board was under one alliance.
I've seen a couple of servers like that. Like, I joined into a server one time where... God, some random ship in an alliance just rolled up on me, and I hopped in, and there were like 5 or 6 ships in the alliance. Like, the entire server was allianced. It was awesome. I feel like we're pushing too far ahead, though. I feel like Justin, explain to the listeners what the game actually is. Like, what's the point? What do you do? Go.
So I feel like Sea of Thieves is a game that a lot of gamers have heard of, but a lot of them haven't actually played. Just because... It's not a game for everyone. I don't think it's for everyone. You roll and roll. I can't talk. Good start. You are a pirate, and you have a ship, and your ship size will capsize.
If it's shrunk.
But your ship size is determined by how many people you have in a crew. There are 3 ship sizes. They're the sloop, the smallest one with only 1 sail, the brig, which has 2 sails and is medium size, and the galleon. The galleon is the giant 3 sail and probably the poster child for most of the Sea of Thieves gameplay you see. And you want either 1, 2, 3, or 4 people. Like when Jordan and I play, we play with a sloop. Just because it's easier to manage with the 2 of us. But the point of the game is really kind of up to you. So there are different factions that all have a different role. There are there's the Gold Hoarders, the Order of Souls, the Merchants Guild, and the other bigger one I would say would be the Reapers.
Yeah, they've also added a few other ones later on, like Hunter's Call when they added fishing. There's a Hunter's one. There's the Athena one, which is like a separate rep that you can only hit when you become Pirate Legend. And you become Pirate Legend by getting to level 50 in 3 different, like, what are they called?
The factions.
Three different factions, thank you.
But to kind of break down what each faction does, Gold Hoarders is, as you can imagine by the name, is all about getting as much gold as humanly possible. So you take on treasure maps from them and riddles that lead you to gold, gold vaults and stuff like that. The Order of Souls is about collecting skulls. Skulls you get by fighting skeletons, obviously. And so there are these undead skeletons that you can fight. And you get the skulls from them. And the Merchants is the worst one, where there's one decent quest where you just try to get a ledger from a sunken ship, and then there's the terrible ones where you have to just take cargo from one island to another and literally just be a trader.
Yeah, or you have to like go to. There's ones where you have to find certain animals on certain islands, which is really hard. Like you need like a pink pig and it needs to go to this island. And all they give you is a crate, so you have to go try to catch the fucking pig. If you know what island the pig is even on. Dude, those ones are a nightmare. I wonder if they've reworked them since I've even tried to do them. Luckily, in the game, there's something called mermaid gems, where you can just find like a mermaid statue that sings to you. Like it literally, like it's like a magical song that you hear, and it's louder if you're underwater. So you like jump into the water, try to find the mermaid statue, and then you attack it. It breaks, it gives you a gem, and you can turn that gem into any faction that you like. So I would always turn mine into the Merchants, and I would recommend that anybody else does the same. Just because those quests are dog shit.
And so that's the game, and you might be asking yourself, Justin, why do you say that it's not for everyone? That sounds like a pleasant experience. Well, here's the thing. PvP is always on for anyone that's not in your crew. So you can spend, like literally me and Jordan will do one mission for they're the Athena ones, which are like the big boy ones. We'll do one of those and it'll take us about 2 to 3 hours. You can get tons, like thousands and thousands worth of gold and stuff like that on your ship. You don't get that gold until you go back to what's called an outpost, which is basically like a safe house type of thing. And you turn in that gold. You like turn in a chest to the gold hoarders and they give you money for it. Mm-hmm. And when you're on your way back, and any moment during your voyage or after your voyage, another enemy ship can just stroll up to you, blow up your stuff, and sink your ship and take all your everything you got. And so you spent hours of work for nothing. And mm-hmm. that is one thing. That's the biggest thing. I think it's not for everyone.
Yeah, that can be really frustrating, especially for a first-time player. Like, I remember you talking about how that happened to you the first time, and it turned you off of the game for how long? For like a year before you came back to it.
I played it for the first time with you, and that happened to us, and I didn't play for another year.
Yeah, it can be really frustrating if your first experience does not go well. Which I think brings us to our first important question, Justin, and that's that, do you think that Sea of Thieves should have a passive mode?
In a sense. I don't think it should be like GTA where you can just go passive. I think that they should have PvE servers. And a lot of people will, if any Sea of Thieves fans are listening to this, they're going to hate me. Because that's one of the most like, it's PvP, just get used to it. It's like, I get that. And I'm not saying I would only be on a PvE server. I like some of the PvP as well. There's some level of excitement. And
when you're being like chased by a faster ship. Right. Yeah, that can be really exciting.
But I think that more people would play if there was PvE versions. And I think that no matter what, more people playing a game is better, just in general. Yeah. I always think that the more people are playing a game, the better. And I don't know why they wouldn't do it. And I get it, Sea of Thieves, it's not Sea of Friends. But why not have like a Sea of Friends version?
Shout out to our friends Gail and Gabe that we met for the other night out on the seas.
yeah, Gail and Gabe. So that's one of the few rare gems you could find. Is like you'll come across a lot of people that you'll like. I'm always trying to be a diplomat. I don't really want to seek out and do PvP unless that was our goal in the first place. Yeah. And so when we come across someone, I usually grab out the megaphone because there's proximity chat and just go, "Hey, we're friendly. Just want to say hi." do you want to do an alliance, which is where you raise flags and you share the wealth, but and then most 9 times out of 10 they'll just shoot at you and they don't care. It's like trying to just walk up to someone in GTA Online and being like, "Hi, how are you?" You're just gonna get shot in the face.
Yeah, which is really stupid if you don't like if you fucking think about it. Make an alliance with as many people as possible, and everybody makes more money, but nobody can fucking figure it out.
Unless you're trying to do Reaper stuff.
Yeah, unless there's a certain faction that you need to like kill players.
The Reaper stuff is where your goal is to kill players and sink ships.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there are rare gems like Gale and Gabe where we ran across them and we were just like, "Hi, we're friendly." And they were like, "Yeah, we're friendly too." And they helped us. They just like they gave us a little bit
They
of
gave us loot. Yeah, I've never had anybody do that. That blew me away.
And because of that, like 2 days later, we all got in one group and we sailed to Galleon together, and it was lovely. So
it was a grand old adventure.
Gale and Gabe, if you're listening, we love you.
Love you guys. Oh, dude, I've toyed with this question: should Sea of Thieves have a passive mode for quite some time? I've really tried to give it some thought, and I think the answer is yes, but I have a few caveats to it. One, it is timed. You cannot you cannot be in
Real quick, are you talking about what I was talking about with the PvE server, or are you talking about like going passive mode like in GTA?
So I am thinking I'm not thinking in sense of a server, because I do think that PvP in Sea of Thieves, like in the adventure mode, is important. I do think it adds a fun layer to the game. That being said, I think it should have a few caveats. So it needs to be timed. That being said, I also think you cannot willingly choose to go into a passive mode. I think it should be something where, like, if another player kills you, you can elect to go passive for like half an hour, where they can't kill you, you can't kill them, but it's not for forever. Because what comes to mind is, if a player has sunk your ship, like at that point, I just want to get off. I don't want to play anymore. There's no incentive for me to keep going, right? But if I know, okay, the next half an hour I am untouchable and I cannot touch anyone else, it might make me want to like finish out my quest and gain that last. Yeah, I lost a lot of the loot, but at least I know the next half an hour will be a lot easier. I only have to deal with like computers, like bots.
I see what you mean, but in my experience, when I have died from another player and I respawn and I do keep going, I rarely run into that player again because it spawns you far away.
Opposite side of the map, usually.
Yeah, opposite side of the map. And the map is large enough, and there's only usually about two other crews besides yourself on any server at any given time. And so usually I just don't run into them again. So I see what you mean, but I don't see it being like a GTA situation where you die, respawn, and that same person is right there trying to kill you.
So I have been bullied in Sea of Thieves quite a lot. I have definitely had experiences where like players refuse to sink my ship, but there's like 3 people on my sloop and they're not doing any damage to the sloop, but they just keep killing me as soon as I come back. That is incredibly frustrating. That has happened quite a bit to me. But we're both in agreement here, right, Justin? Like, there should be some form of a passive mode. As to what that form is, we might not agree, but I mean, I think we're in agreement here, yeah?
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that PvP players and PvE players should be in the same server. Just because, like,
yeah. There is a PvP mode that we just haven't played. Yeah,
the arena, yeah.
Yeah,
but
the arena.
I think that like you're in the adventure mode, and you should be able to choose PvP or PvE. Mm-hmm. That being said, maybe the part where we might differentiate on. I think I can get you on board with that idea, but maybe if we just talked about how like if you PvE and you get all the way up to Pirate Legend, you're beefed out. You can't just switch to PvP and wreck people. Maybe there are certain things you miss out on. Well, then there'll be achievements and stuff you miss out on. So
yeah, so I had another thought too. I think there should be a punishment for going passive. So I think that if you go passive, if it's not going to be timed, I will say this caveat. If it's not going to be timed and there is a passive mode, I think you should only get like half of the gold that you would get in a PvP server. That's adventure mode.
That's part of the risk reward.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's the PvP is fun sometimes. I mean, just the other night we like successfully easily sunk. Was that our first player ship that we've sunk together?
It was. I wouldn't really call it an achievement. So Jordan and I are really, really good at. No matter what other ship they have, we are excellent at maneuvering, and
it's the sloop's main powers. Because it's so slow, you can turn so quickly, and other ships can't do that.
Yeah, and so we are excellent at maneuvering and using our harpoons to hook us onto rocks to make us turn faster, and we are amazing at that, and that's what we primarily do. Because normally when we run into another player ship, we're already halfway through a voyage, and we don't want to mess with them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't really call that one we did an achievement because it was one dude and he was shooting cannonballs at you while you were on the ship, and so I just went up and blunderbussed him.
Let's explain to the listeners exactly what happened, because it really was quite beautiful. We were headed to an outpost, we were headed to like an Ashen area to start an Ashen Athena's quest, and a player sloop was just continually following us. And they were quite a ways behind, but they had slowly started catching up. We had our alliance flag raised, so we were trying to offer an alliance with them. And so I thought, okay, let's try to slow down the ship, or we thought, let's slow down the ship a little bit, let them catch up and figure out what their intentions are. And so we, took turns jumping off the ship and just trying to get attached to their ship to see, like, if we could hear anything in proximity chat. Because, like, when you jump off your ship, you're in the water, in the ocean, and you can try to, like, get to the ladder of the other player ship. Well, Justin fucking nails his jump, and he's just latched onto the ladder of a player sloop as they're passing by. And so as they're passing by, I call out to them using proximity chat. I'm like, hey, like, you want to form an alliance, or like we're friendly, or I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was something along those lines. And he immediately starts shooting at me. And at that point, Justin, just being so perfectly just at the bottom of their ladder, still kind of in the water, crawls up the ladder while he's shooting at me and just blunderbusses him. One shot, he's dead. When you're dead, you go to the ferry of some kind. What's it called? Davy Jones' locker, some sort of shit.
It's a death ship, and there's a timer that you have to wait for where you can respawn.
Yep. And if your ship is still up, then you do not you don't start over. You spawn back at your ship. And so we hadn't sunk him yet. I think he came back once and we killed him again. We lit his ship on fire, shot cannons at it, and sunk him. And it was a good feeling. I felt really good. And we had no other issues, I think, for the rest of that time, right?
Yeah, no, we didn't have any problems. I have no problem going PvP when they're causing it. Mm-hmm. I'm personally not an aggressive even person, and so I am never one to be like, let's take him. But I'll fight, but it's just not. I'm normally not the aggressor. Jordan, on the other hand, I remember one time. This is when we first started playing together, and I'll never forget. This is a very good story to explain our different personality types. I'm so excited
to hear this already.
We were on an outpost turning in, and another ship pulled in on the other side, and they were turning in their stuff. And I was just like, I used my proximity chat, and I was like, hey, we'll let you be. You turn in your stuff, we'll turn in our stuff. And they were like, okay. And we got all of our stuff down, and we got all of our stuff turned in, so we had nothing to lose. And he was still turning in his stuff, and Jordan just goes, let's kill him. No, what? Why? Why would you want to do that? And he's like, well, we have nothing to lose now. I'm like, yeah, but he didn't mess with us. Let's not mess with him. We didn't do anything to him, thankfully. But I'm just like, why would you? Why?
Oh, man. Oh my god. Oh yeah, that is 100% me. I am so excited for I just like occasionally, not super often. I would say a good percentage for me is if 10% of the time we got on, we were just going to focus on fucking up kids in adventure mode. I would be so excited to do that with you. I
I'd
like
be down to
not
do
a
it
ton.
once I get my initial goal, because Jordan's already Pirate Legend. I'm not, and so once I get there and I have nothing else to do, like I right now I have goals in mind, and I just want to spend my time doing those goals. And
Yes, I
so
feel
once I'm done with
understand.
that, then sure.
Yeah. Dude, oh my god. Excuse me. Yeah, God, I love Sea of Thieves, man. I could just talk about Sea of Thieves for hours, I feel like.
Yeah, this originally was going to be an episode about The Witcher 3, but we changed our mind last minute.
I know. I'm so glad we did. We took way too long to talk about this game. It is so much fun, especially to play with like a really good buddy. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I wish I can find one day.
Rude.
No,
Oh my
I'm excited.
god.
We're talking about this at the very tail end of season 1 of the Battle Pass, and
Oh
we just watched a video, the sneak peek of season 2. Season 2 literally starts in 3 days, so we're pretty excited. And I know for a fact that Thursday, Friday, Saturday night we're probably going to be playing this a lot.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, we're going to be on this a lot. I'm going to stay up way too late, way later than I should have. I stayed up way too late last night, but I was playing COD. Man, I am so excited for season 2. You know what blows my mind? Is that Sea of Thieves got an award for like most evolved game or something like that. Like
What
most
kind of award, Jordan? That'll really blow people's mind.
is it actually a Nobel Peace Prize or Nobel Prize, whatever the fuck?
That was the April 1st.
Okay, that was the video. That was the video that tricked me. I'm an idiot. Don't worry about it. What
I
kind of
sent
prize
Jordan
did
a
it get?
video at first of like talking about the season 2 updates, and the same guy also posted a video on April 1st saying like amazing big leaks, and like everything he said was wrong.
Well,
but
I
he
got
said it in such
3
a
minutes,
confident way.
yeah, into the video before I realized I was being fucking trolled.
It was a 4-minute video, by the way. But yeah, it was so funny because it was just like he actually won a Nobel Peace Prize for most evolved game and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm sure that everyone watching that didn't realize the date was like, wait, what? That can happen? And then I watched that video way prior, and so when Jordan was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch this video," I'm like, "Go for it."
No, but like it actually won an award for that, right? Like most improved game or like most changed game.
I don't know. Why don't you talk to the lovelies while I Google it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it won. So I've played this game for quite a long time. My roommate, my sophomore year of college, junior year of college, when this game came out, had an Xbox, and we would play it on his Xbox for hours and hours on end. He's almost Pirate Legend, and he never played that game. I played that game on his account. So I've almost gotten 2 different characters to Pirate Legend. I just want to take a moment to point that out. Well, one of them I have. Another one I got very close.
It won. Sea of Thieves wins the 2021 BAFTA Award for Best Evolving Game. BAFTA is a British Academy of Film and Television Arts award, so that's kind of a weird reward for it to earn, but still.
But it's very fitting. Well, I think is... So again, I have no idea what part of that video is true or not, but is Rare actually located in like England? Is it a British game? I have no idea.
Oh, maybe
I know.
Rare location. Rare Game Studios.
Yeah, what do we got?
British video game developer and studio.
Okay, yeah, it's a British game, so that makes sense. It's like their version of shit. What are our like E3, right?
Rare?
No, E3 is it like a news conference? No,
E3,
BAFTA.
Oh,
What's like the American version of BAFTA, where it's like the video game awards? Was it like the IGN awards? I know theirs are pretty big.
I don't know. I don't do award shows very often.
No, I don't think anybody does anymore.
But no, Rare is behind some of the games like like oh, my brain. They're all on the tip of my tongue. Banjo Kazooie. Oh gosh, I think they're behind Perfect Dark. But they Conquer. They're weirdly really into the platformer genre.
GoldenEye 007?
Yeah,
They did GoldenEye. You're shitting me.
they did GoldenEye as well as Perfect Dark. Yeah.
That's crazy. And Donkey Kong? Donkey Kong Country?
Can we just talk about for a second how, because I'm looking at all the graphics of all these things that they made, and it's very similar to Sea of Thieves, or Sea of Thieves is a very weird looking game in the fact that it's very cartoonish. It's very
Extremely
blocky.
cartoonish.
Think of the art style of like Fortnite. It's similar to that with a little bit more customization detail, but it's the same kind of art style in general. Like everyone has a little bit more of a blocky texture to them.
Yeah. Very animated.
Very animated, but somehow the water is the most realistic water I've ever seen in a game.
Absolutely. Well, I feel like that was their intention because they wanted it to be able to run on the maximum number of consoles and PC rigs as possible. So you make the graphics of everything else really low, but you really focus in on the water. And they nailed the water. Like, the game itself is gorgeous just because of the water.
Oh yeah, it looks beautiful. And there are, even though it sounds like it's a lot of chaos and stuff, there are a lot of long parts of the game, especially if you're sailing from one end to another, where you just play like you can play
peaceful.
Instruments and stuff like that. And
You can
so,
go
like,
fishing off the back of the ship.
yeah, and so there are a lot of times where we're just sailing from one end to the other. I just start playing music, and Jordan starts fishing, and it's really peaceful. The peace doesn't last forever. There are a few things that are just out in the open water that can really mess you up. The most common being skeleton pirates. So you can come across skeleton ships. They are very easily discernible from player ships. So, and they're honestly not as big of a threat. Like if me and Jordan come across a galleon, again the big ship, but we know it's a skeleton one, we've taken those down before as a sloop. We don't care.
Yeah. I do want to point out that this is us talking about the game again at the end of season 1 because that was not always the case. There was a time in that game, there was a build of that game where those ships were super aggressive and hard to take down.
Yeah, and so we don't really worry about those. It's only when we see we'll see a player sloop and be like, we got to keep our eye on them, just because
They can do some sneaky shit.
The computer isn't sneaky. Yeah, it can be like there are what these can call bomb barrels, which are these big red barrels that are very cliche of every game. But they're explosive, obviously, and a lot of people will do is they'll just swim off their ship, they'll sneak onto one like I did with that one player we took down, and they will
Kamikaze themselves.
They'll kamikaze themselves, but those barrels do a ton of damage to a ship, and so in the end, it pays off. But computers don't do that.
No, they're not smart enough to think of things like that.
Probably the more exciting things you can come across randomly are megalodons and the Kraken.
Yeah, we have not come across the Kraken. Have we ever together, me and you, come across the Kraken?
No, you and I have never come across the Kraken together.
Crazy. I want to so bad. I was just thinking about that. Like, we have not had a Kraken or even a Meg in quite some time, I feel like.
Megs are a little... Meg last time.
That's
fight it.
Yeah, that's true.
We come across Meg probably
once
per session. We come across a Meg, and
that's fair.
But the thing, I think I read. I don't know the validity of this. I read somewhere that a Kraken will only happen if there are no other world events happening near you. So we're never gonna have one in the Ashen areas. The Ashen areas, by the way, are a very small portion of the map where there are volcanoes that will erupt at random. And also if there's no skull forts going on, which skull forts are randomly the random spawns at a fortress, which are usually abandoned until there is a skull above it. That skull meaning that it's like a wave type thing where you fight several waves
of zombies, skeletons.
And but there's a lot of intricate stuff you can also do in the game that you and I haven't even touched. First of all, Jordan and I have not really touched the story-based stuff at all, which we really want to.
Yes, we really want to, but I think At least from the one time I did a tall tale, you get no gold. It's
Yeah, no,
just
that's
about
not the point.
story.
It's just about story, but you get a lot of rewards, like items. Like you get
Okay.
weapons, you get clothing, you get skin. Like I think the one you get at the very end of the entire tall tale, at all the tall tales, is you get, when the gold hoarder guy, how he has like his skin is like a mixture of skin and gold.
Uh-huh.
You get that.
Oh,
Stuff like that.
that's
And so
interesting.
you get material rewards. Like that hat that you and I have, that tri-corner hat that also has that glowing feather on it. That's from doing the first tall tale. And so you get rewards, but they're just not a whole lot of monetary rewards. And so that's where we are set right now. We're just trying to, yeah.
I feel like that's one part of the game that we have yet to talk about, and that's that what do you do with the gold that you get? You buy cosmetic items.
Yeah, you buy cosmetics, and it's kind of weird because when you talk about it it's on paper, it's like you put a lot of work and you get something that looks better. It's weirdly like it is very rewarding. Like yeah, you're not gonna get there. Like when I start the game and I've never played before and I have a rusty cutlass, that does the exact same damage as Jordan's flaming cutlass or whatever. This is just an example, and so it does the exact same damage, but you get different skins for it, and that is very rewarding in of itself. But Jordan and I differ on what kind of customizations we really enjoy. I enjoy the person customizations, even though it's a first-person game. I like my character looking badass. Where Jordan loves the ship customizations, which is where the really expensive stuff comes from.
Oh, dude, it's so It's so hard to get ship stuff, but I think that's why I really love it and really enjoy it. And there's a lot of ship stuff that I don't currently have that I really want. Obviously, there's the one that you have. How did you get that, by the way? Did you pay for it, like with real money, to get that ship skin?
Yeah.
Of course you did, you little slut.
Yeah, that's what I told Gail and Gabe when we were playing. They were like, "Oh, this is amazing ship cosmetic. Where'd you get it?" I'm like, "I could tell you, but it's not going to be impressive anymore." And I paid for it.
Yeah, and it's the same one that you get for being a pirate legend.
Untrue.
Oh, it's not. I thought you said it was the same one.
No,
I
no,
haven't
no. You
got
get
back to look at it.
the Soul Flame gear, which is what I have. Is only through the ship stuff. You can only get through purchasing it. There is a Soul Flame costume for your person that you do get through Pirate Legend, and that's through doing that achievement of like the Fortress of the Damned and doing it 25 times.
Yeah.
Which that's why I haven't seen anyone wearing it. It's because doing that achievement is ridiculous. But that's the matching costume to the ship stuff that I have. What you're talking about is the ghost stuff. It's literally called the Ghost ship set, and
I want it so bad, but it's so expensive.
Oh yeah, I want all the Ghost stuff, and because
I feel like it would take me a year to get it all. Like a year of my life would have to be dedicated to playing this game, and I love this game, but I don't know if I have that much time.
I think you'd be able to do it with as long as you pop an emissary stuff that aren't Athena. Like,
that's true.
For example, I was doing gold hoarders. First of all, emissary flags basically mean that you're running a flag that it represents one of the factions. And when you do that and you're doing that faction's missions with that flag raised, you level up that flag. And the more you have it leveled up, the more gold you get in return. And so, like today, I was at 350,000 gold. And by the end of 3 missions with the emissary flag up, I'm at 500,000.
Yeah, that's a really good day.
Yeah, so I've gotten really far today. I'm at 99 with the battle pass. I'm halfway through 99.
Oh, so, you were grinding today then, huh?
No, I mean after this, after we record, there's a good chance that me and Jordan might play some Sea of Thieves.
There's a pretty good chance.
There's a pretty good chance, and so
I mean I'll have to go talk to the wife for a little bit, but yeah.
But yeah, by the way, this is such a weird thing to say, but Jordan and I have started making our names on things AVP and then our username. Like I'm usually AVP Sticky Bomb, Jordan is usually AVP Captain Redbeard, and that's to represent our podcast. We are not nearly big enough for me to be talking about this right now where we're going to see someone in a game and they'll be like, "Oh, you're AVP." But No, that
One day. We just
one
hope and
day,
dream.
hopefully,
Yeah.
one day. Our YouTube videos view count has slowed down since me and Jordan have stopped looking at our own videos over and over.
I know.
But
It's
no,
so
one day.
heartbreaking to see.
It's fine. I
Yeah.
like one day. I enjoy just doing this.
I know. I enjoy it too.
But yeah. So, but anyways, what was another subject that we had here?
We could do best and worst feelings in Sea of Thieves. I feel like that's a really good question.
That's an easy one for the worst.
Yeah? What's the worst for
The
you?
worst is when you spend hours trying to getting stuff on your ship and someone takes you down.
Yeah,
That's the worst.
I will say, so have I don't think you've ever been tucked on yet, have you?
What do you mean tucked?
Yeah. So there was a time when I was playing this game. I had the whole day off of school and work. I had not turned in anything because I'm risky and stupid like that. I had probably been playing the game
You're
for about 5
so
hours.
stupid like that all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I probably was playing the game for about 5 hours and probably had close to like 100,000 gold worth of materials just on my ship. Some guy, you can emote in this game, right? Some guy, somehow, I don't know how he did it. I don't know where he came from. I never saw his ship. He slept, like there's a sleeping emote where I was putting all of my loot. So I was just stacking loot on top of him and I couldn't see him because I had spread out the loot too much. My guess is I think he had another sloop, like he was playing with someone who was tailing me, because as soon as I got to an outpost, he knew, he jumped up, he blunderbusted me in the back of the head. That sounds so dirty. He basically shotgunned me to the back of the head. I died instantly, and he just got all my loot. He got it all. Like 5 hours worth of work.
Well, that I'm sure that we're gonna get tucked on in a different way because part of the new season update is a new. So the way you collect materials in this game is on every outpost there are a bunch of barrels, and barrels can contain stuff like wood to repair your
On
ship.
every island, not just on every outpost.
Yeah, every island. Wood to repair your ship, food to regain your health, cannonballs, stuff like that. That's how you get your resources. And now there's an emote where you can turn yourself into a barrel. And so this is going to kind of be a game changer. And I think that especially on the 15th, when the new season drops, there's going to be a lot more people on one server, just because I think a lot more people are going to hop on for the new season. And I think we're going to see some barrels that weren't there before on some outposts.
Yeah. Probably get fucking killed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't had that happen to me, luckily. But that sounds terrible. Mm-hmm. But I think the best feeling that at least me and Jordan have had, I think I can speak for both of us when I say that, was running into Gail and Gabe. Just because, at least for me, because like that was the most. I guess it wasn't the most rewarding in terms of like, oh my gosh, I guess I can name a few spots where we got the happiest, but in terms of like player to player value, that was the best moment. That was the most wholesome, like, oh my gosh, we could not have been happier. We made friends out of it, and it was just because these people were cool. And I think the other moment for me that was amazing with you is when we first did a gold vault.
Oh my god, that's what I was going to talk about too. I was more stoked about the gold vault than I was about digging up the first Athena's quest. Or Athena's chest.
Oh, for sure. Me too. Well, it's because we were we did our research after that. So me and Jordan took a long break, and then I hopped back on the game with Sea of Thieves. And since Jordan took his break, there has been treasure vaults that were added to the game, where basically you go to multiple islands, guided by a compass that only points towards the islands you need to go to, similar to Pirates of the Caribbean, how
he has that one
Jack Sparrow's compass only points to one direction, and it only points to what he wants most. It's similar to that, but it just points to different pieces of a map. and they're spread across different islands. And once you find all the map pieces, you get an X. Sometimes you can get it earlier, but basically you get an X, marks a spot, and it's on one island. You figure out what island that is, you go dig up that X, and then it says the voyage is complete. So technically you did all the paperwork stuff. You dug up this chest, but what's in this chest is a totem. This totem is a key, and it'll give you a hint on it of where you're supposed to go. You have to find this key slot. And in this key slot, once you enter it in, a giant door opens up, and you are led to a secret treasure vault, which has treasure everywhere. And there's also like a riddle in it where you can get a super secret, like a amazing chest.
A really high value chest. Yeah,
really, really high value chest. But Jordan and I did not really do our research first going in, and so when the doors opened, we didn't know that there was a timer on it, that there was 3 minutes that you had until the door shut and it started to fill with water, and eventually you drown. So we assumed that there was some sort of timer, so we started carrying a bunch of chests outside the door because we knew that would close.
We could tell that it was closing because like the vault was shaking and the door was coming down.
Right.
I was panicking so much in that moment. I had no idea what to do.
Our first moment, I was like, oh my God, look at all this gold. And we went crazy. And I was the one being like, oh, there's a riddle here. Oh, let's try to figure it out. And Jordan's like, money.
Yeah. Dude, okay. But here's the thing though. Not only is there items that you can go turn in an outpost, and they were everywhere, there was also piles of literal gold. So you could skip the turning in. You would just collect the piles of gold, and that gold would now be on you forever. It was great.
By the way, there's an achievement for getting every single pile of gold in a gold vault.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd be down to go for that one.
But yeah, and here's why I got so frustrated a minute ago when I was talking about fucking greedy bitch Jordan is. Jordan's the kind of guy that like we'll have like another player that's in proximity of us, and we'll have a lot of loot, and we'll just be like, I'll be like, all right, let's just go turn in so we're safe, and we'll do the rest of it once we turn in what we have. Jordan's always the one to be like, no, there's another island, like just a little bit out of the way. Let's just go get that. I'm like, dude, I don't want to risk anything. Stop risking it. And him risking it has fucked us over like twice now.
But
and so
isn't that part of the fun? Come on,
I want my
just
money.
A little bit. I want my money.
And it usually ends with like the ship sinking or something like that, and me just going like, Jordan, I hate you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. No, it usually ends with Justin saying, I'm gonna get off. just like that dude, just right in that time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get off.
Yeah, no, I'm usually just like, I don't care anymore.
Right, but that's what I'm talking about. That is the only consistent large problem with the game, and that's that if your ship gets sunk, you want to get off and stop playing. You don't want to play anymore, right? Like
that's true.
Yeah. Especially if you've been playing for like an hour or so.
Another good question on here. Is the game unfair?
Let's try to make this a relatively quick question because I do have to go. But
we're only at 43 minutes. This should be one of our longer episodes.
I know. I feel so bad. Okay. Is the game too unfair? Let me think about this. In what sense? What do you mean by that question?
So there have been moments in the game where I felt like it was unfair. But at the same time, it's random for everyone what you run into. I remember the first time I set sail by myself, and I did not have Jordan with me, so I had no backup. I immediately had to fight a ghost ship that ambushed me. And that almost sunk me, and it wasted most of our resources, but I survived. And then I got a little bit of treasure, and I was heading back to an outpost, and the Kraken showed up. And the Kraken on a sloop with one player, you're done. There's no chance.
It's really, really difficult. I've gotten out like a few times, and I've killed him once by myself, but it is not easy.
Yeah, like there's almost no chance because like what he does is you just see the tentacles show up on every side of your ship, and what he does is he literally just starts going to town on your ship, and he picks you up off of it, so you can't repair what's being damaged, and then he starts to drown you a little bit by shoving you into the water, and it's like when I was in those moments, I literally couldn't shoot at anything because nothing was coming into my crosshairs, and I was just like, well, I'm screwed. And so then it killed me, and I was like, I'm going to get off for a little bit. And that was one of the moments I was like, that was unfair. Like, I really shouldn't have fought the Kraken by myself on a sloop. But at the same time, I don't know if it is or not unfair. I think emotionally I was thinking at the time, like, that was unfair. But I know it's random for everyone. And so I don't know if it being random for everyone. I don't know if, like, is it unfair if it's random for everyone? Or is it unfair if it's catered to how big your crew is, what kind of ship you're running. Like, should you only fight the Kraken when you have 4 people in a galleon because you have a better chance?
I had a great thought. I think that this might be... I think we don't need a passive mode because of this thought. I think that there should be an easy mode and a hard mode. The easy mode is what beginners can start into. It is like 2 to 3 other ships in a whole world server max. Like, world events don't happen as often, so you're not going to get attacked by Megs as often or ambushed by a skeleton ship. And I think that there should be a hard mode with a few more players in the server, a lot more world events, and there's like a multiplier for turning stuff in. Like, you get more loot. What do you think?
You shouldn't choose whether or not you're in hard mode or not. I think it should be that if you are just starting, then you are automatically put onto a server with other people that are just starting. Everyone gets to get their
like a
sea
boot
legs.
Camp server. Yeah.
Everyone gets to get their sea legs, and once you get a little bit more experience and you hit a certain level threshold, then boom, you're put into the regular server.
Like Rainbow Six Siege, right? Right? Because there's like a lobby. Yeah, on PC, at least the version that I have, there's a lobby like for under level 30. And once you hit level 30 or whatever level it is, you can't go back into that lobby.
I was around before that was implemented, and when that was implemented, I was already too high to be able to do that, to experience that. But I think you're right. So
I've only played those games.
Yeah, when we eventually talk about Rainbow Six Siege, that'll be one area that I don't know about.
I really would like you to get that game on PC. I could get into that game with you quite a bit. I just want you to be... I realize I've never really expressed that, but if you got that game on PC, I would play it quite a bit with you.
Yeah, I'd be down. There's just so many like memories that I have in that game, because that's when I was in an Xbox league and or a clan, and I was like the team leader for our Rainbow. I was a fucking beast.
I would want you to teach me how to play this game. I want to be taught by someone who's really good.
It's one of those things where, like, I'm just scared to relearn because I know I'm going to be terrible on PC. And after experiencing being a god amongst men for so long on Xbox, I don't want to be crap again.
Yeah, I think that's how I feel about Battlefield on PC, is that I was so good on PlayStation, and then I'm not that good on PC, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, so maybe. I'll be down to do it, but I just got to get pushed to do it.
Yeah, just wait for a sale. Just wait for a sale on it and buy it when it's like $20 or something like that.
Yeah, I think I already own it on PC.
Oh,
but I'd have to double check.
Yeah,
but do you have time for more?
Let's do one more. You get to pick.
All right. How would you compare the toxicity in the game to other games like Call of Duty?
It's way more rewarding.
I think it's more similar to the toxicity in GTA.
Yeah, except more rewarding still. Because when you are successful, you get a bunch of rewards.
No. There's a huge difference between trying to fight a ship and being toxic. There's a
Okay,
huge
talk to
difference.
me.
Like I watched a video. I'll send it to you. We'll watch it. I have a few videos for you to watch real quick that I think you really get a kick out of. Sea of Thieves that I watched today, and one
Okay.
of them was the most It was labeled as like the most toxic players or something like that, and it wasn't toxicity on the people attacking. It was toxicity on the people that lost. And so there was a guy that there were two galleons going up against each other. One guy got into the other ship, and that one dude soloed all four of them. And they also had a fortress or a skeleton fort explosion barrel on the top of their crow's nest. So he blew that up. Their ship was done. And when they were all on the ferry together, so those four people he killed and himself, all of them were surrounding him, just calling him every single slur I've ever heard, and some I probably have never heard before. And they were so salty. And I'm just like, okay, in that
They were
situation,
so salty.
it was a dumb one. Salt water. No, but they were so angry and they were so toxic about it. And so I definitely think that there's a difference in like, you don't have to be the aggressor to be toxic. Just like how if you're in Call of Duty and you're facing off against someone and this person you kill someone else and they start calling you every name in the book, that they're the toxic one. You are not the toxic one because you killed them.
I will say the stakes in this game feel much higher.
Yes.
And because of that, the toxicity, I think, can flow a little bit more freely. Because you can get really angry when you've put in an hour or 2 hours of work and then somebody kills you right at the end and you lose everything.
Yeah.
That can make you really upset.
This game can really go one of two ways. I think this is a good note to end on. Is just a kind of general summary of how I feel. What kind of game Sea of Thieves is. I think that it's very interesting in that you can get off of school or work and you can say to yourself, I want a relaxing game to play. And if you choose Sea of Thieves, it's gonna literally go. It's literally a coin toss. It's not like
I think it's a little bit better than a coin toss. It's like 75% to 25%.
I think it's a coin toss. 100%.
Really?
Yeah, because like it's not like if it's like if someone said like I want a relaxing game experience after work. They're gonna get 100% surety of that if they go play like Stardew Valley. Or something like that, where yeah, there's no threat. I'm just gonna enjoy this little digital farming life. And then there are also people that like I want something more intense right after work or school, and they're like I'm gonna go play Call of Duty where it's constant chaos or GTA. Whereas this game, you can literally get one or the other. You can either get a really calming experience where you're just getting treasure and you're enjoying the ocean and you're playing music and you're fishing and it's a very serene, calming moment. Or you can get toxic players and people blowing up your ship and a megalodon and skeleton ships and a shit show. You can literally get one or the other, and so that's the gamble that you make. So it's really hard to tell you like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to be relaxed in this game. That's why I say it's not for everyone. It literally gives you both spectrums, but it's random. You can't choose like I'm gonna play this and it's gonna be calming today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you went into the PvP mode. We really did not talk about that at all, but there is a secondary mode called Arena. I don't enjoy it. I don't think Justin would enjoy it either. It's kind of dog shit, but some people
PvP
really like
it's
it.
a necessity.
Yeah. Unless it's like the entire base of the game.
I've never played it, and so that's why I haven't talked about it. It's because I don't know anything about it.
I don't enjoy
people
it.
that can't tell.
I got shot on.
I'm not really a PV. If the game gives me a choice between playing as a peaceful person or an aggressive person, I'm usually going to choose peaceful. Unless I'm playing a game like Call of Duty, where literally there's no option to be peaceful, or Rainbow Six Siege. If you're giving me an option, though, 9 times out of 10 I'm going to be peaceful, which is why I'm really into RPGs and stuff like that, where I'm not really hurting anyone's feelings, because I don't like hurting people's feelings.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we wrap it up right there. I feel like this has been a great episode. I love Sea of Thieves. I could sit and talk about this game forever. I really could.
If people like this episode, we can do a part 2 on future seasons.
Oh, please. Oh my God. I hope so. I want that to happen so bad.
Yeah, we want that to happen, guys. You know how you can help us? You can help us by following us. You can help us by following us on Twitter at AVP Casting. You can also help us out by sharing this with your friends. That's probably the number one way you can help us out, by sharing it with people, and give us your recommendations in the comments if you're on YouTube. Like the video if you're on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, follow us and give us a like on there. And those are the two primary ways you can talk to us, is comment section on YouTube and Twitter. Jordan's not really on the Twitter. I'm the one that usually handles the Twitter. But like, talk to us on there.
I will reply to YouTube comments though.
Yeah, he will reply to you. We both will reply to YouTube comments. And I think what I want to do is I want to start clarifying like who's responding. Like we can reply on the YouTube channel and then just put like a dash at the end and be like Jordan or Justin.
Yeah,
so they know who they're talking to. And so, but yeah, we really enjoy this game. We want to know if you do too. Tell us what, and let us know what your worst experience was in Sea of Thieves, and let us know what your best experience was.
Yeah, those will be interesting.
Yeah, let us know, guys. And but if there's nothing else, you got anything else to end on, Jordan?
No, it's just a phenomenal game. Should charge more than $60 for this game.
Shut
honestly.
up. No. No. Games are already starting to become $70. No.
Okay, fine. But paying $60 for this game is 100% acceptable. Like full price.
Do your research before you play it.
Yes.
Figure out if it's the kind of game you're going to like.
If it's the kind of game that you will like, you will really like it.
Yeah. If this sounds appealing to you, where you got that 50-50 chance, go for it and you'll have the time of your life.
Alright.
Alright. Well, have a great rest of your day, everyone.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye, everyone.